Hi everyone, my name is Shayla of the Blue Elephants, and today I wanted to film a little get to know me video. I've had this YouTube channel for a little while and I haven't really posted much in the last year or so, and I really hadn't posted much before that aside from a couple of tutorial videos. I've never posted anything really introducing myself or talking about who I am and who the Blue Elephants and what the Blue Elephants is, so I thought I would film a little intro for you guys today. A little bit about me. My name is Shayla. I am 29 and I started the Blue Elephants kind of on a whim. I was knitting and crocheting and I had a little bit of a blog doing just like hobby things and sharing a little bit about my knitting and crochet projects, but also like food and home reno and DIY projects and all that kind of stuff. And I really liked the crochet part of it. I really liked sharing my patterns and coming up with designs and elaborating on that. So I took it full time, and now the Blue Elephants is my full-time income. It's my full-time job, and it's something that I really love and enjoy, and I hope you guys do too if you're watching this. If you found my tutorials helpful or anything, then like that is what I set out to do, so I'm super happy, and thank you for watching. But yeah, aside from that, like, what else? I have a list of questions here on my phone, so I will be referencing it and talking about all of those things a little bit more detail. But for now, let me tell you what the Blue Elephants actually is. Obviously, it's a knitting and crochet community where I share knitting and crochet designs, but more than that, I want the Blue Elephants to be about bringing people joy. I want it to be a place where you can find fun, colorful, whimsical crochet patterns that just make you happy and that give you a sense of like fun and adventure and of like, I want to make that. So for me, the Blue Elephants and all of the toys and blankets and everything I create on it is just something to make you feel good. So if crochet is something that you enjoy and you love and you want it to be your happy place, then I think we'll get along great. So while I talk and I answer these questions, I'll try to have some of the questions posted on screen here, or like pictures of what I'm talking about, so you guys can follow along. But let's get started with the first question. So the first question that I got was, what inspired the Blue Elephants? And I'm guessing that means both the blog and the name, the Blue Elephants. Okay, so I started the Blue Elephants in college. I was studying literature and I didn't really know what I was gonna do. Honestly, I switched around a lot. I switched majors and I had a lot of different ideas for career paths, but I wasn't really settled on any and I wasn't really sure what I was doing. So while I was in school, I had all these hobbies and I had all these things that I wanted to just do something with. So one of my friends and one of my cousins encouraged me to start a blog. And on the blog I just shared kind of updates about what I was doing, just look at this thing I made, or like recipes that my mom taught me, or home renovation projects that we were doing, or little DIY things I was tried to come up with and like to dress up my own space. It was really not any specific thing. It was just kind of whatever I felt like doing. But when I started sharing more of my crochet stuff, it started to get a bit more feedback and people were enjoying it and they were liking it, and that made me excited and happy to continue doing it. So then I stopped doing so much of the other things that I was just kind of throwing in there, and I just went fully focused on doing crochet stuff, and it made me happy. And it made me better at it too, because I kept trying to improve and I kept trying to do more. So that is where the Blue Elephant started. It was kind of a whim, but then it grew into something better. And for the name, I called it the Blue Elephants because the first thing that I really learned how to make was a little stuffed elephant, and I only had blue yarn. That was the only yarn that I purchased for some baby project that I was intending to make and never did, and then I just had a bunch of blue yarn. So I made this blue elephant, and I gave it to a friend when they moved away, and a little while later had another friend move away, and I also gave them a blue elephant, and then it kind of became this thing for me of like giving people that I love a handmade thing, and that handmade thing happened to be a blue elephant. But I loved the feeling of giving somebody something that I made. I love the feeling of them enjoying it and being like surprised by it, and feeling loved. And I wanted to continue that feeling. That's what I wanted for my blog. I wanted it to be a feeling of happiness and joy and love and all the warm fuzzy feels. So I named it after that as a reminder of like, this is why I do it. I make things that make people happy. And the name for that just kind of stuck because there was 3 people that I gave elephants to. 3 people that I gave those elephants to, and it was the start of it. Okay, and this next question is, where am I based? I started in Chicago, so I grew up in Chicago, and that is where I started my business, but now I am in LA. Some of my patterns you might notice have mentions of Chicago and being like, this beanie is perfect for Chicago weather and all those kind of things, but I wrote those beforehand, and I will probably be doing a lot less beanies now that I live in a warmer environment, but I'll be doing a lot more plushies, and I might still actually do the occasional beanie because they're fun to make. But yeah, so I live in LA now. This next question is kind of a 2-part question. It is, how old was I when I learned to crochet, and who taught me? So for the first part, I was either 15 or 16. And for the second, I taught myself how to crochet, actually. I followed YouTube videos, and I just kept trying until I figured it out. And it was a little bit tricky at first because there was no good course. There was no good process that was consistent on how to crochet from start to finish for the total beginner. So I had to kind of figure it out and find those things. But I ended up teaching myself how to crochet, and now I actually teach people how to crochet too. So I have a free ebook that I'll put somewhere right here that is all about how you can crochet for the absolute beginner too. It's called The Beginner's Guide to Crochet. You can grab it for free by clicking wherever the button or the card is, and I'll put a link in the description below. So if you want to learn, that's a great place to start. But yeah, I learned to crochet just from following videos and from trying to figure it out, really. This next question is, why did you start crocheting? So I think this is a good actual segue into from the last question, because I started crocheting because I saw a hat that I really wanted to buy. We were passing through a craft fair, and I saw a lady who was at a booth, and she was selling these hats, but she was also making the hats there as well. And I really wanted one, but my family was on vacation, and we were kind of just passing through, so we didn't stop by to look around, and we had to go. But we had planned that, on our way back, if they were still there, we can go check out the craft fair, and I can go buy that hat. But by the time we passed through again, the event was over, and the lady had left. So, I was sad. I wanted that hat. I wanted something very much like it. So my thought was, she was doing it. She was just making them. She was sitting right there, and she was making them. And if she can do that, so can I. So I came home, I bought a bunch of hooks, and I bought some yarn, and I just tried to make the beanie that I wanted. I just started learning how to do it. The hat never really turned out the way that I wanted, but I did learn how to make a bunch of other things, and it's been fun ever since. I've been making stuff ever since, but it all started because I saw the lady, and I was like, if she can do it, so can I. So that's kind of the attitude that I like to bring to all of these projects. If you see any patterns, especially some of my patterns look like the plushies and things look a little bit difficult and you're intimidated by them, don't be. They're all made with super simple stitches, and honestly, if I can do it, so can you. It's super easy, and that's if you're not gonna try, then you're not gonna get there. So just do it. Just try. You'll get better over time. So that's kind of the attitude that I wanted to bring to this channel and to my website as a whole. The next question is, where do I get my inspiration? So a lot of the toys that I make, not just toys, blankets as well. I make a lot of plushies, amigurumi, baby blankets, and like little baby accessories and things like that. A couple beanies here and there too. But everything that I make, I try to just incorporate as much color and fun that I can into them, because that's what I like. I like things that are colorful and whimsical and just, you know, things that make you happy. So for some inspiration, I go to like seasonal collections. So I have a collection of winter plushies, and they're just things that you associate with Christmas time. Santa, gingerbread men, elves, toys, like that kind of thing. For other things, it's more, the main inspiration comes from cartoons, shows, anime, things that I just like the design of. So I have a lot of, I get a lot of inspiration for colors, especially from anime and just like the artwork of stuff. So I like seeing how everything goes together. I really like the look of Adventure Time, so I kind of think of things like that as well. I also get inspiration from the people around me, like my sisters and my custom order customers, because they come up with a lot of the color combinations and stitches that I end up using for baby blankets and things that I do specifically for them, because there are things that I probably wouldn't have thought of doing, but you know, I worked on a blanket with my sister and she put together a couple of colors that I didn't think of going together, but they did, and they looked amazing and I loved it. So I do try to ask my family and my friends for like ideas about that. Other than that, I get my inspiration kind of just making whatever I want. I read a lot of fantasy, and I like to make toys and characters that are kind of more fantasy, whimsical, like a little bit different, and try to add as much detail as I can to it to really make them shine. Okay, the next question I got was, why do I crochet? I think this question is pretty similar for a lot of people who knit or crochet or are really into any hobby, but because it's fun. That's really the simplest answer, because it's fun and I get to make something that wasn't there before. I get to take a piece of string and create a toy out of it. I get to make something that people can play with and use, and it makes them happy, and that makes me happy. I like being able to take an image in my mind of something and just play around with some string until it's a physical thing in front of me, and I can show people like, this is what I wanted, this is what I was describing. And I think that's really fun and really special, so I like doing that. Okay, next question is, what are my favorite things to make? Like I mentioned, I make a lot of baby things. I make a lot of things that are fun, playful kind of things, and mostly plushies. I love making plushies. For me, those are the most fun thing to do, because there's so much I can do with them, and I always have 100 million ideas of like different kinds of plushies to make, different collections to do, different ways to make a toy that somebody will enjoy and play with. And I think mostly it's, what do I want to play with? What kind of toy do I want? So, yeah, I think plushies and baby blankets are my favorite. Baby blankets because they're chill projects. Baby blankets usually, at least the ones that I like to design, just use different colors, like bright fun colors in a simple stitch, and you can make so much, and you can take a single pattern and change them up so much and just make something special. Especially if it's for a baby, it feels nicer. It feels warm and fuzzy to give somebody something for a baby, and to see the baby using it, to see the family loving it and enjoying it. And do I prefer to knit or crochet? I actually prefer to knit. My website and everything I design in crochet because it's easier for me to design in crochet, and the patterns and things that I want to share, the toys and the ideas that I want to share are more easily translatable for me in crochet. But when it just comes to what I want to do in my chill time, when I'm just hanging out watching TV, it'll probably be knit because I like following patterns as well. I like to take somebody else's pattern and just sit down and follow it, and just to make something like a blanket or like a sweater, which one day I will finish a sweater. I've never yet finished one, but one day I will finish one. But yeah, I like to knit more. I like the look of it. I like the more professional feel that it has, and I like that when I'm knitting, I'm usually following somebody's pattern, so I'm not thinking about how to write the pattern, how to design it, how to make the pieces fit, how to do all of that stuff. I'm just enjoying it. So I think that's why knitting's my favorite. And the next question is, what's the first thing I ever designed? The first thing I ever designed was a plushie for a giant 2.5 foot tall giraffe, and I called him Jeremy the Giraffe. It was a gift for my cousin when she was expecting her first kid. And when I made that, I originally made it with normal colors, like a yellowy tannish body and brown spots like you would expect of a giraffe. But the pattern that I have updated on my blog now, it's the same look, same everything, except I changed the colors to be a little bit more fun and colorful because those are colors I liked. I made it a white body with colorful polka dots. But that was the very first pattern I designed, and when I posted it on my website, before it was officially a crochet website and it was just a bunch of random things that I enjoyed, that pattern really took off, and it was so fun. It was really fun to see people recreating it and people making their own versions of it with different colors and sending them to me and sharing them online. It was really fun for people telling me how much they loved it and how, it was really encouraging, and that's kind of the moment where I decided that I wanted to do more crochet. I wanted to do more of that and less of the other like random things that I was doing on there. So Jeremy is the reason I started kind of focusing in on crochet, and I'm really glad I did. So I think Jeremy is really like one of my top things up there. But that leads us to the next question, which is my favorite design. And it's actually not Jeremy. My favorite design is a design for a amigurumi dragon that I designed. And this is my favorite because although it's a lot more pieces than most of my other plushies, and it takes a bit longer, the pieces are smaller and they're a little bit trickier to sew together, it's the one that came out the best, and it's the one that I love seeing. It's the one that I don't share nearly as much as I should. But it was Fjernen the Dragon, and I designed that pattern purely for myself. A lot of the patterns that I design, I'm thinking of what time of year it is and what themes will go well, what other people request or like custom orders. But Fjernen was completely mine. It was a dragon, something that I am obsessed with and that I loved and that I wanted to make for the longest time, but I didn't want to just make it. I wanted to make it perfect. I wanted to make it mine. And I think I did that. I made something that I'm so proud of and that I really love, and it's something that I should make another one of because I actually ended up selling my original one. I ended up taking it to a craft fair. I didn't have that much product, and I wanted to put more stuff on the table to fill it out and to make it look a bit more professional, a bit more full. So I brought it, and I had no intention of selling it, but then there was a little girl at the craft fair who loved it. She kept coming by to play with Fjernen and to look at it and to just have fun, and like she was making up all these stories of like fighting the dragon and befriending the dragon and all these things. and seeing a little kid playing with one of my designs so wholeheartedly and so freely was really sweet, and I ended up just letting her have it, even though I wasn't going to sell it, but I ended up doing that. So I do need to make a new one for myself, and I will do that soon, I hope, and then maybe I'll post more updated pictures or do it in a different color or something. But Fearnin is one of my favorite designs. But really all of my designs are my favorite when they're very new. The newest design is usually my favorite for a bit, but at the end it always comes back to Fearnin. Okay, so the next question is, what hook is my favorite hook size? And for me, easy. This is a 3.25 millimeter hook because that's the one that I use for all of my plushies and toys. I use the same yarn and that same hook all the time, and I've gone through quite a few of them. I've broken a few of them, but they're the ones that I use the most, and it's the most comfortable for me, so it works the best, and I like it for amigurumi especially. Other than that, I don't really pay too much attention to any of my other hooks, so other than maybe I use my 5.5 or 5.0 a lot for beanies, so that's probably my next favorite. Do you have any favorite books or resources that you turn to? Yes, I have a couple of favorite books and resources. I will share a blog post to all of those though, instead of talking about them all here, but I have a post. I'll post something here or in the card or in the description, or all three really, so you can check them out. But I think one of my favorite books is the Ultimate Stitch Bible, 500 crochet stitches, something like that, the title. I think it's 500 crochet stitches, the Ultimate Stitch Bible. Yeah, another book I also really enjoy is anything from the Crochet One Skein Wonders book, or not even crochet, they have knitting ones too, but the One Skein Wonders books, because they have a lot of cool fun designs, and I think all of them, I don't know, I think there's something for everybody in there, so I have a few of them, but there's a couple more on my wish list, which I will also link below so you can check out other books and stuff on Amazon that I also recommend if you're interested in that. And that was the last question. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something about me and that this was a fun video. I do plan on doing more videos in the future, and I want to post a lot more on this channel, just more tutorials, more patterns, more of me, more get to know me, more, or not get to know me, but more videos where I just sit down and chat with you guys a bit more. So if you aren't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Just hit the red subscribe button below this video and hit the bell so that you can get notified of any new videos that I post. You can also, I'll put a link in the description to my newsletter, so if you like, you can also follow me there, and you'll get all kinds of things from there, mostly new patterns and projects that I post on my website, like tutorials, tip posts, and yarn events and blog things that are going on, and also updates for when there's new videos or if I put out another call for like questions and things like that. So if there's anything else you guys want to see from me, let me know. Just write a comment below and I will try my best to reply to everybody. And yeah, that's all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you soon.